So right now on one of the two coins, my DCA chart looks something like this. So I figured it's important for me to, just hop on here and share with you guys what these projects are, how they work, and why I think they're groundbreaking. And what I like most about them is that nobody is covering them on YouTube. Nobody is talking about them. The market caps are super small. And in my opinion, that's how you make life-changing money. Obviously, it's super risky, but you don't make money by investing in XRP or in Cardano or in Ethereum or things of that nature. You need to find the low cap gems that have good utility, that are attacking, the right competitors, and that have at least 50 to 100x potential. And obviously, whatever I say, nothing is financial advice. It's strictly for educational purposes only. But if you want to come gamble with me, come put your villain hat. Come gamble with me. So the first project I'm super pumped about is called Vibe Trading. It's basically a hyper liquid mixed with pump fund, but on steroids. It's insane. I really do think the incentives around Vibe Trading are amazing and that this project will be a cash cow just like Hyperliquid. The token creator would be able to quickly list his token and generate fees. The traders would be able to speculate on those tokens and have their demands satisfied. And Vibe Trading would take a cut from, every trade, every listing, whatever. And on top of that, spot Vibe token holders would get a revenue share from the fees generated by the platform. Vibe Trading basically lets any token creator who has a freshly created token to list on their platform permissionlessly without having to need millions of dollars in USDT or USDC stablecoins, which new creators don't necessarily have that type of money. And also traders are able to speculate on that token price with crazy amounts of leverage like 1, 5, 10, or even 100x leverage on low caps that aren't even on Binance or on Coinbase or whatever, with a specific technology that is simply amazing that I'm about to explain. The whole reason why Vibe Trading's backend system is so amazing is because they have partnered with Simio, which is like a professional plumbing system for leverage trading that is used by many professional trading desks. So on step number 1, you see the Vibe Trader with the cool little emoji. They need to input what they want. For example, I want a long Pepe with 80x. Next up, on step number 2, you see the word solver. This is basically the Simio backend powered bot that searches on all types of markets and grabs liquidity from elsewhere just to provide it to that trader. Once the solver provides that liquidity from elsewhere, which is like a fraction of a second, on step 3, he then displays it to the trader so he's able to click long or short. Step number 4, the trader clicks long or short and the trade is executed seamlessly very fast. Step number 5, the solver accepts the trade. He hedges himself against the trader and uses the collateral that's in the vault, which is the creator's tokens. Then on step number 6, there's a bilateral trade agreement, and then the trader sees his P&L going up or down. So right now their platform is actually in alpha testing mode. You can go submit your name, and if you get picked, you're going to be able to trade the low caps that are currently listed. And for a project so small that is barely covered, they have around 100 low cap listings already, and nobody is talking about that project. Guys, this is simply insane. Imagine what's going to happen when there's thousands of low caps that aren't even on any other platform, and just like thousands to maybe even hundreds of thousands of traders actively trading on their platform. The revenue will simply be insane. They have a super seamless trading experience and nothing is custodial, so Vibe does not hold your tokens. You just simply connect any Web3 wallets to their platform. Don't quote me on that. You would have to hop on the Telegram and ask for yourself the owners, but I do think there will be around 1 billion tokens and Vibe will launch at a 90 million fully diluted market cap. However, there is a catch. The project is set to launch for this quarter or at the latest Q1 of 2026. I was able to get in before because in 2023, this project was actually called something else and it closed down and it got sold and we got airdropped a bunch of different coins on a bunch of different chains. Right now my investment is basically locked and I'm just waiting for the coin to launch on, public exchanges to be able to sell it or buy more, whatever the case may be. In essence, I'm super confident about Vibe. This is something I'll definitely be holding and just accumulating ref share because I really do see this as the next hyper liquid / pump fund. So the potential is simply through the roof. The second crypto project I really love is called Quilibrium. And once again, go search on YouTube, go try to find articles. It's super hard. Nobody's covering these coins, and that's why I think they have amazing upside. Think of Quilibrium as a new decentralized internet layer focused on privacy. And it's not like any other blockchain with the same narratives. It actually works with sharding, so everything is super encrypted. And nowadays, if it just rings any bells to you right now, privacy is super important. We're talking about big tech. We're talking about Amazon Web Service and Google Cloud. These are the competitors Q is actually aiming to take market share from. So the problem with today's internet is that most information runs through giant data centers and just hubs owned by Google, Amazon Web Services, you name it. This information, your data is being tracked, stored, sold, or even blocked sometimes if you say wrong things. Quilibrium literally flips that model, and instead of, tracking that data through centralized hubs, it breaks down the whole component of information and just data into small encrypted pieces called shards. In essence, each part of the network does a job without knowing what the other part is doing, and the data at the end is returned to the user, all in an encrypted fashion. The network is able to sustain 100 million transactions per second, so this is simply amazing. But I'm not gonna go into detail. I'm not a developer or a cypherpunk, but if you wanna know how it works under the hood, it's literally wild. I tried reading the documents maybe 2 or 3 times, but it is going to be linked in the description. Just imagine like thousands of ants, which are like the node runners, and they're processing information, storing data, verifying compute without needing a central boss. Each of these nodes know what type of work they need to be doing without knowing the full plan, but in essence, the city, which is like the internet, gets fully built perfectly. That's how Quilibrium scales and builds the internet in a private manner. So Cassandra, she has been building her vision for the past, I think, 6 or 8 years. And Quilibrium didn't just pop out of her mind last week. She was actually building this in silence for almost a decade now. And right now, the 2.1 network is actually launching imminently, I think before October. And you're going to be able to run a node and earn some Quilibrium tokens. And all kinds of developers would be able to, do work on that network and build super cool apps. Once again, what I really love about this project is that the founder, Cassandra, you can directly go into their Telegram or their Discord and ask all of your questions. If you're trying to run a node in the future, she's going to be there to help you. And this is what I like about these small caps. We get instant access to the CEOs. It's kind of crazy. I also love the fact that before version 2.1, people actually obtain coins by mining and running a node fairly. Cassandra doesn't have any tokens allocated to her. There was no VC, no fair launch, no early allocations, and no seed rounds, things of that nature. So it's considered a fair launch token. Quil, which is the native token of the chain, is used for storage, computation, and just network activity, just as Ethereum, which is considered a gas token. There's already developers that, develop stuff with their own free will, such as Quorum, a 100% private messenger, very similar to Discord, that handles 100 million transactions per second. There's also a Crim web wallet that you can just connect to the 2.1 network and have your tokens there instead of sitting on Ethereum chain. And recently there's something called Quil Scan. There's a dashboard that's been created to monitor the network, the tokenomics, the node runners, etc. In terms of price, it obviously crashed 93% from the top, but with the imminent release of version 2.1 and activity starting on the network, traders started front running it. And you don't need much experience, but you clearly see a weekly trend reversal from 1 cent. Now it's 3 or 4 cents. So if there would be a time to speculate on this, I say now it's a much better price than last year. If you want to buy it before the 2.1 network release, you can buy it as a wrapped version. Just be careful, because once the network goes live, maybe 1 week later, there's a bridge that's going to be open, and all the node runners that accumulated Quil tokens might be incentivized to sell them. But I personally don't care. I ran the maths. It's not that many tokens. So, I choose to buy it before the launch of the network. So yeah, guys, to sum it up, Quilibrium, it's purely a gut feeling play. I really do feel like the market cap is so small, but they're attacking Amazon Web Services, Google, big tech. I think privacy is something very concerning in this day and age. So, the crypto market might pick it up. And I really do see this coin being like a top 50 or a top 30 coin. Yeah, guys, that wraps it up. Obviously, everything I say is not financial advice. Everything is super risky. I'm down over 75% on those tokens myself. But that's the nature of the game. If you want life-changing money, you can't understand everything. The price needs to be low. Everything seems shaky if you want life-changing money because the price says it all. Nobody's gonna make money if you're buying into 3, 10, 50, or $100 billion coins. At best, you're gonna have a 1 or 2x. I rather just work a job and not check prices if I'm to invest in large caps. And quick little side note, you guys are freaking amazing. The feedback has been insane. I finally crossed 100 subscribers, and I'll be showing you guys a step-by-step guide on how to connect your Bitcast miner, provide education on YouTube on Bittensor, and earn alpha tokens. So comment down below if you liked these two altcoins, if you're going to buy them, and I'll see you guys shortly in the next one.